Good morning. Today we publish a white paper on immigration, a strategy absolutely central to my plan for change that will finally take back control of our borders and close the book on a squalid chapter for our politics, our economy and our country.
Today we've got a story straight from the sea, yes, really, and it stars the French president himself, Emmanuel Macron. Now, imagine this. Macron is asking for more money to help deal with people crossing the English Channel in small boats. Sounds fair at first, right? Except, the UK already gave France almost £500 million to help stop this.
Top of the agenda, small boats crossing the Channel. In the last decade, the UK has given over £250 million in funding to French authorities, and they still keep coming.
We're announcing a new detention centre in northern France, a new command centre, bringing our enforcement teams together in one place for the first time.
The small print he didn't say on stage. That means nearly £500 million more funding to French authorities over the next 3 years.
You'd think that'd be enough for a few boats and some strong binoculars. But apparently it's not. It's like giving your mate a bag of sweets, and 5 minutes later they're asking for another one because the first lot didn't count.
Work, family and study will be tightened up so we have more control. Skill requirements raised to degree level. English language requirements across all routes, including for dependents. The time it takes to acquire settled status extended from 5 years to 10. And enforcement tougher than ever, because fair rules must be followed. Now, make no mistake, this plan means migration will fall. That's a promise. But I want to be very clear on this.
So what's the plan? Well, the French want their police to go further out into the sea, up to 300 meters from the beach, to stop those little boats before they get far. Sounds a bit like lifeguards with walkie-talkies chasing dinghies in a fancy dress contest. You can just picture it. French officers in shiny uniforms, zipping around on boats like they're in some odd seaside version of a superhero movie. And guess what? Macron might ask the UK for even more money to do this. Yes, more. It's like when someone borrows your pocket money, promises they'll buy something important, and then shows up the next day asking for extra to get the deluxe version.
So, what are they going to do with these asylum seekers? And this is an issue that's very important in Lincolnshire, because Skegness is packed with asylum seeker hotels, just to name one town. And I'll tell you what they're going to do with them. They're going to put them into social housing. They're going to put them into council houses, and British people who've been waiting in the queue for many years to get their council houses will go to the back of the queue, where when people who broke into this country, illegal foreigners, will go to the top of the queue. That's what's going to happen, isn't it?
Oh, 1,000,000%. And when has any Labour government ever had a policy where they put British people first? They haven't, have they?
Yeah.
Now here's a little funny rumour. Some say that even Macron, for all his serious speeches, might have been playfully slapped by his wife during one of his over-the-top political rants. Just a tiny smack to snap him out of it, the kind you give someone when they're talking nonsense at the dinner table.
Emmanuel Macron has been humiliated by his very own wife in front of the eyes of the world. Yes, shocking footage has emerged overnight of the French President Emmanuel Macron being brutally slapped and shoved by his wife and First Lady Brigitte just before disembarking his plane in Vietnam. And there wasn't only tension on the plane. Macron attempted to cover up the spat by offering his arm to his wife, which she swiftly rejected, leading to a very awkward walk down the stairs. It was a moment when the president and his wife were relaxing one last time before the start of the trip by having a laugh. It was a moment of closeness.
Imagine if Keirstarmer were in that moment. Would he be the one doing the slapping or the one getting slapped? Tricky question, but let's not forget, behind all the funny bits, this is a serious topic. People crossing the sea are often running away from danger or hoping for a better life. It's not a joke for them.
This is a guy who's travelling from France. He's on a train in France. It looks like a pretty nice train.
Wow,
he's looking like he's wearing some pretty decent clothes. I mean, if you looked at this, you would think this is the travelogue of a young man making his way across Europe on a gap year and deciding to sort of make his way into England. And here he is wandering the streets of London, having arrived here looking very happy, looking very clean. He's got a new haircut, he's got new clothes. You know, now there he is on the dinghy crossing the channel. And I know that there are terrible things that happen on the channel, and terrible things have happened, but an awful lot of the crossings are quite safe because almost all of them get here without any problem at all. They don't look concerned, really. These don't look like people who are frightened of the water, to me. There's an awful lot of them, and it doesn't look particularly safe, but they don't look worried. And then they arrive, as you can see, on the other side of the channel, here in the UK. The journey is complete. It's like a sort of, you know...
It's like a holiday jaunt.
It's like a holiday, a snapshot of...
While the politics can feel like a bit of a clown show, the people involved are very real. So as we finish our little journey across these choppy political waters, let's give a big imaginary cheer for how ridiculous things can get. Politics is often a mix of big promises, silly decisions, and moments that make us laugh out loud.
What is your plan? How are you going to stop the boats? How are you going to... OK, stop. Let me have my point. Answer two really simple questions very simply. Where are these asylum seekers going? It's a simple question. And what's your plan to stop them coming here in the first place? That's what people want, James. Where are they going?
Well, some of them will be sent home if their applications are rejected, and we want to bring down that backlog. That's the first duty, and that's what we've been doing since the election last year. And what we're saying is for those people who are being processed, they're waiting for a decision to be taken.
Thanks for sticking with us today as we talked about boats, budgets, and a bit of behind-the-scenes drama. Remember, while politicians argue about money and who's in charge of what, it's often the silly stuff that sticks in our minds. So, keep sipping your tea, keep your jokes sharp, and always remember, even the biggest leaders can end up slipping on a banana peel if they're not careful.
It is unacceptable to be spending so much money on expensive hotel accommodation.
So where are they going to go for not the some who get deported? What about the not some who are going to still be here or are not going in hotels? It's not a difficult question, James, with respect. Where are these people going?
I said earlier on in our conversation today that there would have to be alternative accommodation for them.
They're clearing them out.
Paying for it, yeah.
There's about 40,000 migrants right now staying in about 200 hotels around the country.
But look at the crime already in the community.
No, £4.7 billion a year that costs us.